I am John Dernberger. I was fortunate to be with Tom Nozica as part of his first coaching team here at that time, Morris Harvey College, presently University of Charleston. I can only say what a wonderful memory it was of having Tom as a coach and later in years as a friend. I was fortunate to have my son Chad Dernberger as a player and coach here at University of Charleston, to be under Tom with his athletic administration and his duties. I just thought the world of Tom. He was a strong individual. Anyone in the pouring rain would wear just shorts and a t-shirt at a soccer game. It has to be tough in mind. He always called us rookies, and we always wanted to live up to his expectations. Tom, we're going to miss you. You touched a lot of people. Thanks again. Thanks for the memories. Bye, Tom.
I'm William McDaniel, Sports Information Director here at University of Charleston. I wanted to take this chance to thank him for the opportunity that he gave me here at UC. Tom hired me here in January of 2010, and I was fresh coming off getting my master's degree, and I was going around basically begging anybody I could to try to give me a job. And Tom saw something in me and brought me in the office one day and said, how'd you like to be our sports information director? And I said, I would love that. There's nobody who would work any harder for you than I would. And he looked at me straight in the eye and said, Dub, just don't mess it up. Don't screw it up. There was times I didn't always get everything right, and he'd let me know, but it was always in an encouraging and positive manner. And I'm really thankful to Tom for giving me the chance. I'm a better person for him giving me this opportunity, and without him, I don't think I'll be able to get anywhere or have anything that I've got today. So I just want to take the chance to say thank you a lot, Tom. And it was sorely missed, but you left a passing legacy here at University of Charleston and never be forgotten.
Hi, my name is Brian Monteleone, and I was in the class of 1992. I was a 4-year baseball player here at Charleston. And Coach, I know you're listening somewhere. I love my time here. I appreciate all the opportunities that you gave me, and I never forget some of the stories that we have, particularly you driving in the middle of the night trying to spit and shake and nearly ram us off the road, and then you chuckled for another 5 to 10 miles. It was pretty funny. So appreciate it. Your vocabulary and sayings will forever be a part of me, and I think have already been passed down to my children. So love you, family, and God bless.
My name's Ken Given. I played for Noz in 1973 through 1976. At that time, Noz was more of a player coach for us. I mean, he wasn't a whole lot older than us. He was always out there throwing batting practice till his arm couldn't lift his arm, working on the field till he couldn't hardly straighten up. But that's just the way the Noz was. When they said he loved baseball, thought I loved baseball. Even as a professional ball player out there left here, I don't think I can honestly say that I love baseball more than the Noz. I live here, so for me, I got to see the Noz for years, continue to coach. I was lucky enough to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, and Noz was the moderator. So I got to talk to him and let him know how I felt and how I appreciated all the things that he did for all of us. He was a mentor to us. He cared about his players, made sure they graduated. So it was a big deal to all of us. My condolences to the family. Nancy, I want to let you know how important you were to the Noz, how much I think you helped him out. And to the rest of the family, if there's anything we can do for you, don't hesitate to ask.
My name is Herb Peters, player in 1972 and 1973, later an assistant coach in 1980 and 81. I'm here to speak to you today of the admiration of a man who's meant so much to so many people. That man, of course, is Coach Tom Nozica. Coach allowed me to be one of his players in 72 and 73, and he defined everyone's role. My role was his assistant coach, as he had none. Later, when the budget allowed, in 1980, he called me back to coach. In 1972 at Glenville State, we were having a rough day, and Noz came in to get after the umpire a little bit and was about to get tossed out when I jumped up on the back screen and shook it. The umpire turned and I had his attention. Noz casually walked away and resumed coaching duties. The truth was, I wasn't ready for him to be thrown out and have to assume his coaching duties. Coach, I'd like to say to you, I want to thank you for being my coach, my mentor, and my friend. You've prepared us for the biggest game of all, the game of life.
My name is Jess Cool, and I'm the class of 93, and I spent 4 good years here at the University of Charleston. I'm just thankful for Coach Nozica giving me an opportunity to play, and more than the baseball, just giving me an opportunity to get a quality education. And I tell you, it just what really was he was the right guy at the right time. You know, the coach that brought me from being a boy into being a man, and you know, was able to help me make some decisions, and thankfully the right decisions and good decisions, and just really took the time to understand that I was more than a ball player and more than a student athlete, and that he invested his life into mine, and you can't ask for any more than that. So appreciate you, Coach. Love you, your family. Just sad day, but also a happy time looking back on what you've given me and my family moving forward. Thanks for helping me become a man.
Sherry Wynn, class of 1986, currently UC women's basketball coach. I want to thank Tom for giving me the opportunity to come back and coach. Before I got to coach at the University of Charleston, I was 5 years of losing records. Nobody was looking at me for coaching. He gave me the shot and gave me the opportunity, and I've had great success here, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if he didn't see something good in me. Thank you so much, Tom.
My name's Paul Constanti. I'm the class of 1997. I met Tom Nozica in June of 1993 here on the campus of the University of Charleston for my last recruiting visit my senior year in high school, and I had been to a number of different schools and fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the school, and more importantly had an immediate bond with Tom. And of all of the schools that I could have played baseball for, Tom convinced me that this is the school that I needed to play for. I'm very thankful for that. My mother always told me that things happen for a reason, and I think that I came to this school and I played baseball for Tom Nozica for a reason. And I'm grateful for the opportunity. He told me that the best players play, and every freshman had as much chance as any senior to play, and that's as much as I needed to hear. But more importantly, I think a lot of folks and a lot of ball players will tell you the impact that he had on their lives and how they played. But Tom convinced me that this is where I needed to be, and if it weren't for him, I would not have met my wife, and my wife and I would not have our beautiful daughter that we have today. And for that, I'm very grateful, Tom, and I'll never forget that. I played baseball here, was the starting second baseman for Tom for 4 years, from 1997 from 1993 until 1997. And I'm gonna miss you a lot, Tom.
I'm Steve Brown, class of 1977. I also coached with Coach Nozica here from 1982 1985. It had just occurred to me that, Coach's primary philosophy about the game of baseball was that you didn't really need to worry about making great plays because those would take care of themselves. Both teams are going to make them. He felt that what you needed to worry about was making the plays that you were supposed to make. I'm sure any of us that have played for him or coached with him has heard him say a million times, make the routine play. And I as I've reflected since I've got the news about Coach, I think that's kind of the way he went about his entire life. And I guess the best tribute that I could pay to him would be to say, Coach, now that the score is in, you made the routine play, Doug.
I'm Dr. Ed Welch, President of the University of Charleston. Tom Nozica was an incredible gentleman. There are many adjectives to apply to him. He was straightforward, candid, concerned, committed, and dedicated to this university. It's amazing for me to think that he served as a coach here for 20 years before I came to the university, and he and I worked together for 23 years. 13 years ago, when I asked him about becoming athletic director, I really thought that he would not take the job. Administrivia was not something that interested or excited him. He was interested in working with student athletes. He was interested in helping young men and women to grow and mature and become the wonderful adults that they could become. But he said he wanted to do it because he wanted to give back to the university, because the university had done so much for him. And he invested himself in that job. He tackled the reports that he didn't want to do, but did them because they were part of his job and did them well. I remember one evening when some women came over to the president's house, it was a Friday evening, and indicated that their coach had just quit. And they were supposed to be competing out of town the next day. I called the athletic director, Tom Nozica, who was just finishing up a doubleheader at Ohio Valley. And he had another doubleheader the next day, and he said, "I'm on my way down to fix the problem." And I said, "Coach, you don't have to come. Tell me what to do. You know, I'll find keys, I'll work on vans, I'll do what we need to do." He said, "Nope, I'm already in my van, I'm on my way." And that was the kind of commitment that he had to give his time so that student athletes would have a better experience. So he and I together experienced some really good days and some tough days. He was very excited about the development of football at the university and eagerly did the recruiting of the coach and the staff, and helped us to develop the relationships so the team could play at Laidley Field, now the University of Charleston Stadium. And he was thrilled to watch that first game, just as he was thrilled to have the football players from years ago come back each year and participate in their annual reunions. He was thrilled when the university gained access to Wat Powell Park. Wat Powell Park was a home for Tom Nozica, and he remembered the days of players who had played there before, and was very excited about the university's involvement in Wat Powell. I was in Charleston, South Carolina when I learned about Tom's passing this week, and then I set myself to working on a statement for the university. And I looked outside the window, and there, 15 feet from where I was, perched on a railing, was an eagle. It might have been a bald eagle, an immature bald eagle, before the head turned white, but it looked just like a golden eagle. And I thought that Coach Nozica was stopping by on his flight upstairs, and I certainly hope that he had a safe flight. I hope that the landing was restful, and I hope that the environment is glorious, because that's what he's earned and that's what he deserved.
My name's Annie Nozica, 2003 graduate. I am Coach's daughter. I really didn't have a name here when I was going to school. It was Coach's daughter or Naz's daughter. School played a huge part of my life growing up. I remember taking rides off the hill with Dad to go check on the field to make sure it was still there. And also, stuff that we would do, as family together. We had our left handshakes. I think all the Nazisms that he practiced on the baseball guys, he practiced on us first, like keep it in the middle, and it's not how much you make, it's how much you save. But there's just so many memories. I can think back to grade school, junior high, and high school, playing sports, volleyball, and seeing him there, the corner of the stadium or the corner of the bleachers, with his arms crossed, and then riding home with him after every game, and he would analyze every single play, say, "Oh, you could have gotten one more." But it's everything I've learned from him has made me who I am today. I am proud to be his daughter. And thank you guys for all your support and helping us pull this together. And we have a bigger family now than what we ever thought we did. So thanks.